Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Today, I'm going to do another review of a watch I received a long time ago, or I purchased a long time ago, and that is the Aragon Gauge 55mm. Now, Aragon has changed their their marketing. They don't really make any of the larger watches anymore, and some of us Invicta collectors, us guys who like the really big, oversized timepieces, some guys have put up questions and asked if they're going to re-release anything. I haven't heard any information about that. I think Aragon is going to stick within that maximum 50mm range. I don't think you're going to see any watches anymore from them that are large. I think there is a market for that, but I think overall, I think that 50, even from a lot of the guys who like the big watches and watch my videos, a lot of them will say that 55 is just too big. Now, it is subjective. I still love the 55s. I know Invicta is still going to make those huge watches, but Aragon just kind of changed their whole idea. And I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I'm speaking on my own personal opinion. I think that Aragon wanted to kind of get a little bit away from that that image that a lot of guys, with the Invicta collectors, you guys know how it is. A lot of the watch snobs out there, we're judged, right? We're judged as far as not knowing anything about watches. And if a watch is really big, it must be cheap and just like a garbage watch. That's just not true. You guys know, I've seen all the videos I've done, all the different reviews on different brands, comparing watches like this to watches like this $2,000 Aqua Dive. Let me tell you, they're all really nice. But it is a little disappointing because I do like the oversized pieces, and this is a watch I wanted to also re-review because, one, there's a gentleman who's looking to buy this. I do have this on eBay. I've had it on for quite some time. These are hard to come by. You'll find watches like this on eBay, the 55mm gauge. It's a newer version, I think the 3G. They had it in 55, but they're hard to find as well. The ones I'm seeing are about 50mm. Really hard to find the larger Aragons anymore. I did throw a Aragon Millipede on there, or Android Millipede. I put it on for pretty high price. It is a rare piece. I'll part with it for the right price. It is very rare, but it is one that I didn't really wear all that much. And the reason I'm selling this, you might be saying, oh well, people sell things when they don't like a watch. Not the case at all. I love this watch, but I had this exact watch in a silver faced with the NH35. And for me, you guys know I've mentioned before, I like the clean dial. I still think this is a great watch. If I didn't have the silver version, I would keep this. But there's a gentleman interested, and I wanted to come back to this watch and do a re-review. But also this works for him because he could see the actual condition of the watch. And anybody else who might be looking to buy this, I always want to be very clear on what is wrong with the watch, if anything, so there's no problems, right? So let's talk a little about it. So you got 55mm at the bezel. I like the fact that Aragon does take their measurements at the bezel. A lot of the Invicta watches, I don't really understand. They're a pretty smart company, but their measurements are all over the place. You'll see Grand Octanes as 58. You'll see them as 63. You'll see Sea Hunters as 58, 63, 73, or 73 and 58. A measurement of a watch should always be, the main measurement, when you see one measurement, should always be at the bezel. It should always be a bezel measurement. Anything else you get is just an added bonus if you're good for a larger size, or if you're not, something to take into account. A watch like this doesn't have a lot of, meat, so to speak, to the crown or function pusher. It doesn't have a big giant crown protector, so this watch pretty much 58 at the bezel, and a lot of times when guys say, oh, Invicta is guilty of it, they're like, oh, but it wears like. A watch wears how it wears to the person, right? I think if a watch measures 73 at the crown protector, it's not a 58 that wears like a 73, it's a 73. It wears like a 73. With something like this, I think this is safe to say that this watch is a 58mm because these are so small, right? If you had a big giant crown protector on it, you might say, well, it's much larger, but they should be very specific. You'll see, again, the Sea Hunters, they'll call them 73mm, 70mm. It's all over the board where people get confused, and a lot of times people are like, oh man, I want to get the bigger one. Well, I'm like, this is the bigger one. The 58mm is the big Sea Hunter. Just like this is 55. You can split hairs and state, oh, well, this measures a little bit larger. Again, that's, I like the fact that Aragon measures them like that. But, again, automatic movement, very rare piece. You're not going to find a lot of these. I picked this up when I was working with Aragon doing reviews. Since then, they opted to, I guess, handle their marketing in-house. You'll see that after, I'd say I stopped reviewing them, Wing started getting on YouTube and doing more of the reviews. So I think they kind of started doing that in-house. For me, I never charged them anything to review their product. I just wanted the watches. get the content, send them back, and the opportunity to buy them at wholesale when I wanted to keep one, which is how I got this watch, right? But you know, nonetheless, it's their company. If they want to run it how they want, I think that there is a added bonus to having somebody outside the company review this stuff. But hey, at the end of the day, they still make a great product, and I still like their brand. So again, 55 millimeter gauge. Probably not going to see in 55 some Aragon anymore. Sometimes you'll see the Android name. Remember, the Android name was the original Aragon, and they changed the name to Aragon. I'm not sure what it was, legalities or whatever, but that's where we're at. I like the big coin-edged bezel on this, or what I call a gear-edged bezel. The Sea Hunter, I always refer to that as gear-edged. This can kind of be like a slanted, angled gear, mesh gear, right? Beautiful bezel action on this watch. And like any of them, you guys know I joke about that quite a bit, but it is like all Aragon watches, fantastic bezel, no back play. And you know, I know a lot of guys kind of have the same spiel when they review, and a lot of times I try to catch myself. You know, we all are talking about back play and sapphire crystal and all the things that we just read about. You know, at the end of the day, you guys know what Aragon uses. They use K1 crystals. I haven't seen them do anything sapphire. Their bezels are always the same on their watches, you know. So really, if you're familiar with Aragon, it's all these good watches. When you start looking at that price point, pro divers, you know, most of the Aragon, there's some cheaper Aragons I wouldn't say that about, just like Invicta. But you know, once you get a good quality watch, and I state, you know, when I talk about tiers of quality. Once you get to the point of good quality, then you know everything else is just subtle differences. This is good quality, so the bezel on this is just as nice as the bezel on this $2,000 Aqua Dive, right? Fantastic. Everything lines up. Let me just double check, because some folks are concerned with that. From what I can tell, everything lines up perfectly. You know, I know a lot of guys, we joke about, you know, how a lot of Seikos don't even do that. A lot of Rolexes don't even do that. So the older ones, of course, I'm sure they've corrected a lot of that problem, but still pretty awesome. Hopefully this is in focus, guys. I'm kind of experimenting with the settings on this camera, and hopefully that's in focus for you. Also remember, guys, with the video, you know, I don't know what kind of reflection you're going to get. This light has several different settings. You know, you can turn it up, turn it down. I'm not really sure. This is how I normally film, just since this is normally the light that I use. I think this is quite a bit better. I had it on this setting before, so we'll leave it there. If it's too much, let me know so I can correct it. You know, I appreciate what you guys have to say about the video. So what else about this watch? All right, so specific. So you have 55 millimeters in case or bezel measurement. This is powered by it is the 91. It's a 20 jewel watch with a. Did I not list this on here? Are you kidding me? This is the Miyota powered movement. Did I not list the movement on here? I swear to God. I could have swore I had the movement listed on here. Anyway, model number A172BLK. That's for the black. They did make a couple variations on this. I don't remember what you know, what other colors they had. I know that I've been watching eBay for a while in the Facebook groups, and I haven't seen this watch come up for sale. I've seen a couple other Aragons like it with the leather strap, never on bracelets. So it is a rare watch. Remember, guys, the gentleman who said he's going to buy this next week, you know, people, I believe it when I see it. As always, I want to give it a new home. If you guys see it and you like the video, I'll put the link in the description where you can pick this up. And, you know, let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. It is a rare piece. I know what it's worth. And, you know, again, something being worth it is only what people are willing to pay. So, I mean, obviously, if nobody buys it forever, then it's not worth what I'm asking. I do have it listed for $600. I am taking offers on that. The most recent offer I have on is $400. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that goes through. It is worth every penny. Like I said, the other watches on eBay are going for about, I've seen them upwards of $5 as well for on regular non-bracelet. I've seen them down as low as, I think, $350 on bracelet. So $400 is pretty fair. Jump on it if you want. You know, I don't hold anything. So anyway, God, I wish I could tell you the movement on this. Gosh, I cannot believe I did not list that. You know what's really interesting is this information I took directly off the Aragon webpage. I found an old listing. So I forget which Miyota it has. I will find out and list that. It doesn't say it on the watch itself. A172, it's even listed. Their information, I just really, you depend upon people to have the right information. They have listed 20 jewel. It's actually a 26 jewel movement. Again, I will correct that. Either way, it is a beautiful piece. You have a couple different complications on that. You have a screw down crown, and you do have a function pusher. Kind of interesting on this why they didn't have a screw down function pusher. Kind of defeats the purpose of the screw down crown. Because the water resistance on this, they have rated at, if this is correct, 30 ATMs or 300 meters. That's with a screw down crown. If you have a function pusher that's non-screw down, you're losing water resistance. Not saying that rating is not accurate, but honestly, if you're going to put a screw down crown, you should put a screw down function pusher, and vice versa. If you're not going to, if you get the rating of 300 with a non-screw down function pusher, there's no point in having a screw down crown. So just, you know, not a big deal. What else about this? It's got, I'm not sure what the material is on the inside of the bezel. It almost looks like, you know, how rhino lining looks. It's like a rough kind of plating. It's not ceramic. It's not aluminum. It's some kind of insert on there. As far as the hands, you have these bright red kind of or blood red hands. And the indices are that classic Aragon green. I don't think we can really get this charged up here with the light on, but or I'm not going to turn the light off so you can see it. But the Lumon Aragons, if you're used to them, are pretty good. The power reserve is this dial right here, which is pretty cool. I love a power reserve. It shows you how much juice is left in the watch. This is obviously at low because I just picked this up and pulled it out of the safe. You can wind this watch or you can wear it and it'll self-wind. You can see it's got a small exhibition window on the back showing off that Miyota movement. Not a huge window, but it still has one. And then of course you have your day of the month, day of the week, and your seconds hand, and I'm not sure what the other hand is on this here. I wish it had it, but I didn't really prepare very well for this video. Really any videos for that matter. Anyway, you guys get the gist. Check the link. I'll make sure the information is correct. As far as case thickness, it says here 20 millimeters. This is not, I don't think this is 20 millimeters. I think this is more than 20. But I could be wrong. Yeah, if you go to the top of the crystal, you're closer to like 21, 22. It's a thick watch. Remember, your Venoms are 23. Your Sea Hunters are about 22, 23. So, I mean, it's a tank of a watch. Anytime you have something 55 with that thickness, it's huge. I think this is kind of a nice, kind of in-between watch from like your Grand Octanes and your Sea Hunters. Now, Grand Octanes are about 19. When you compare this to a Grand Octane, this definitely has the appearance it's a lot thicker, even though it's only a couple millimeters, but that makes all the difference. As far as changing the day of the month on this, that's what this function pusher is for. So, or not the day of the month, the actual month. Butchering this video today. When you press that button, you can see the hand goes around there. And then, of course, for setting the other parts of the watch or the other dials, you just pull the crown out to the number 2 position and adjust it. I'm not going to do all that. But, again, purpose of the video is show the watch off, show the gentleman who's interested in it what it looks like. You know, a little bit better. My old videos are pretty dark, I know, but you know, it's fresh content before I let this bad boy go. The watch is 99% perfect. When you look at the bracelet, you can see, I mean, there's no marks, no scuffs on there that I can tell. Maybe a teeny bit where the buckle actually, or the clasp actually rubs on the bracelet. The only thing that you have on this, because it is mirror polished on the sides, is that you have, let me just wipe the fingerprints off this right quick here, just so you guys can see. I want to make it very clear. The only issue, yeah, everything's perfect on this. The only issue is on the opposite side. There is a few slight hairline scratches right there. And they're not deep. They could probably be polished out. They're real fine. My jackets usually have a button on the inside, so I either did it like on the side of a jacket. I can't imagine how else I would have done that because I'm pretty careful. And this watch has probably only had maybe 3 or 4 times on the wrist. So fantastic piece, very mild scuff on there. And you know, honestly, with the light, you can see it, but from a distance, you don't see it. Even up close, when you get out of the light, it's very mild. So beautiful piece. So I want to show you guys what it looks like on the wrist. I'm about 5'7½", weigh about 180 pounds, and I have a 7-inch wrist. So this is what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. And I have to tell you, you know, I've noticed, I'm always looking at somebody's wrist. A ½ an inch on your wrist makes all the difference as far as how large that watch is going to look. I've seen dudes, I've been watching Pawn Stars, you know, I've been really getting into that. And Big Haas, he wears a lot of different watches. He had a Hublot on the other day, and he even had a Submariner on. And I was like, wow, that watch looks gigantic. You know, it looked really big, and he's a really big guy. But he must have smaller wrists because it just, everything he wears looks pretty big. Whereas when I look at like a Submariner size watch on my wrist, I think it looks pretty small. So I don't know. You guys be the judge. So again, 7-inch wrist, massive chunk of steel. It's a gorgeous piece, man. I mean, like I said, this would not be be being sold if I didn't have one already. So it's incredible, and I think, you know, I just want to give it a new home. Somebody will buy it. It's absolutely stunning. I'll get back a little bit so you guys can see what it looks like from a little bit of a distance there. I mean, 55 is no joke. I mean, they're huge. And you know, if you're just catching this video and you've never actually seen any of my other videos and you're not familiar with Aragon, you know, remember guys, I got an amazing email today from a gentleman. He said that he's watched a lot of videos on other people. He's in his 30s. He watched a lot of YouTubers and all those guys that I don't really like on YouTube reviewing watches. You know, the watch snobs, the trolls. And, you know, he said he was pretty turned off by Invicta, you know. He said, you know, this is for Aragon too, you know, this was about Invicta, but he said, you know, I saw all the things people had to say about these watches, and I saw your video, and I said, let me give it a chance. And he did, and he absolutely loved the watch. He's like, thank you. I'm so glad there are people out there like you who give an honest review, you know, because a lot of people won't give a brand a chance because of what the fake news they hear online, you know. So always give a brand a chance. You know, with return policies, they're, you know, when you buy Invictas or Aragons, they're usually pretty good. I don't know about Aragon. You know, if you have a problem, you're going to get taken care of. This one here, just to let you guys know, all sales are final. I don't get involved with the back and forth. I'm very thorough before the sale. This isn't, you know, a big brick and mortar store we can buy, try it out, and then return it. You make the decision before you buy it. If you need any questions answered, we do that ahead of time. And then once it's done, it's done. I can assure you, my reputation's on the line when anytime I put a video out there and I say something, and when I sell something that is important to me, know you're getting a brand new watch with the exception of that little scuff. So, you know, after I start wearing it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't sell this. And it's just always the way. I just sold one of my Aragon Titanium C-Base the other day. Again, beautiful watch. Sometimes I'll buy a watch, and at the time, it's the only one. I'm looking for a certain look, and at the time, it's the only one maybe available, especially in the earlier stages of Invicta collecting. And then, you know, they've come out with so many different models since then. Something else will come out, and then that watch just doesn't get the wrist time. Sorry, the camera's shaking a little. My washing machine is obviously can make the camera shake, so that's just wonderful. You know, the house is an issue. Maybe we're having a tremor. Not sure. It's kind of weird. Anyway, we're at the end of the video anyway, so just kind of deal with it. But anyway, the guy gave the brand a chance, loved it. And this same thing with Aragon. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen anybody reviewing Aragon before, Aragon doesn't get the hate that Invicta gets, and I can assure you that the quality of Invicta is on par with Aragon and vice versa. You know, one guy said the other day, oh, I prefer the quality of Aragon over the Invicta. It's like, dude, you're just saying that to say that because the quality is on par. There's really nothing that makes an Aragon watch better than your reserve level Invictas, and vice versa. I've had a few Aragons that are some of the female angel ones, some of my coworkers got. They didn't hold up at all. I mean, they're not very good at all. So again, always, you know, if you have any questions, always, you know, drop me a comment. I'll give you my honest opinion on these watches. Always give a brand a chance. And Aragon, you know, if you're not into the big watch, good news. Most of their watches now, they have 42 and like 50 millimeter. Usually they're 4750s the max, and then your mid-size 42, 43. I have to be honest with you, I like the big watches, but I do like having a nice selection. I'm thinking about picking up one of the millipedes in 43, you know, because I haven't seen that watch in such a small size. Thinking about getting it, you know, we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. But anyway, as always, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please let me know, for my subscribers, the guys who regularly watch me, please drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of the video. As far as the lighting and how you can see the watch, is it better? Is it a little better? You know, I really appreciate any kind of input you guys can give me. I'm always trying to make these videos better for you. It may take me years to do so, but eventually I do it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another, and take care.